Hey, welcome to another edition of the dog walk. This is actually going to be much shorter than I thought because I just realized that it's actually raining right now. Freezing rain, despite, as you can see, all the crazy amount of snow that we just got since, well, today. So it's going to be a very quick one. I guess I won't talk about anything crazy. I don't really have a plan because it was a busy day. I had to go to physiotherapy and Phoenix was a handful. So, my mind's a little bit shot. Let's do a very quick walk around the block. And one of my interests that I realize that I haven't mentioned yet, I guess I'll talk about now. Hey, girls! And this is something that even 5 years ago I probably never would have thought that this would become one of my big interests. Well, that's not fully true. One of my friends did get me really into the whole sustainability and earthship movement and all that a while back. But anyway, one of my more recent interests is gardening. It started really out of the blue. I'll talk about all the reasons why I do it and why I think it's a good thing. But first, little bit of history about how and why I got into this. Whoa, mister, whoa. Daisy, this way, come. Yeah. Okay, it's a bit too much for Daisy too. Yeah. So, I'll try to make this short. It all started because, as I was doing as I moved here to my new city, and military, we move every few years. My sister got me a housewarming present, which was related to the big activity that I used to, girls this way, that I did, and still like and looking forward to resuming once I'm recovered from the fact that my ACL was torn. But yeah, basically karate. So she got me a bonsai tree, and as I started to look after it, I went down a long and large YouTube rabbit hole about bonsai care. There's some really crazy Australian guys channel. Anyway, it was really awesome and really fun information. But as I was going down this bonsai rabbit hole, they kept talking about how taking care of bonsai, girls this way, Mr. Daisy, is really kind of like reverse gardening, right? You're applying several principles in the reverse way that you would normally for any other type of agriculture. And that kind of linked things together, and I started to get some agriculture related videos recommended and watch some of those, and spent a little bit of time browsing basic gardening stuff, but eventually rediscovered permaculture. And that's what really got me into this whole thing. And basically, I'll explain permaculture a little bit later and why it interests me so much. But that's how I got interested in gardening. So over the last 2 years, I built from scratch a huge array of raised garden beds. Huge for the size of my yard. I will eventually post videos of that, I'm sure. And I have set up everything so that I can plant all my fruit trees and herbaceous layers and all the good stuff come next spring for my permaculture garden. So anyway, why do I think that gardening, or sorry, another reason why I got into gardening is that I needed something to do to stay active. As I mentioned, actually just a month before I moved here, I fully tore my ACL and was not properly diagnosed for 15 months, but that's another story. Anyway, as I was recovering, I needed to find something to do that would keep me active without putting too much stress on my knees, since I can't go rock climbing, I can't go snowboarding, I can't really do any of my activities. Even running or rollerblading with the dogs is a no-no, right? So gardening, I never thought I would say this. 20-year-old me would be laughing at myself right now. But yeah, gardening has been a good way to stay active for me. Now, mind you, it's been mostly a good way to stay active because I've been shoveling and transporting several dozens of cubic meters of earth, dirt, and rocks. But overall, it's great exercise too. But another thing, so that's one good thing about gardening, especially as you get a bit higher in age and you can't maintain your high tempo activities. Gardening is also just a great way to save money, right? Whatever you grow, you don't have to buy. It can even go further than that, right? If you really are entrepreneurial, you can use some of the stuff that you grow to trade with some of your neighbors, or you can use it, you can upsell or make product, right? Plant seeds, sell trees, right? And make orders of magnitude of profit in the meantime. So that's another possible advantage of gardening, the money savings. The other thing is the taste. My God, is there a difference between a fully plant ripened, freshly picked vegetable or fruit compared to something that was grown in a mass-produced facility and shipped halfway across the globe? Even if it's organically grown, and don't get me wrong, I do use organic principles because I'm a fan of permaculture, and as everyone knows in permaculture, one of the principles is if you tell Mother Nature, if you take something over, you're telling Mother Nature that that's her job. So if you fertilize, you're telling Mother Nature that she doesn't need to fertilize anymore. If you kill all the insects, you're telling Mother Nature that forevermore you are now the apex predator who's taking care of all the insects, right? So anyway, that was beside the point. But what I mean is that the taste. Yeah, so I do grow organically, but my point was going to be that even something that is not grown organically, but that is freshly picked and brought to your table within a few minutes, even the best organically grown produce will not compare to that. And finally, I kind of already hinted at it by mentioning organics, but the health, not the health, but how do I say, yeah, you know what you eat, right? I know that I'm using zero pesticides, zero hormones, zero, like, nothing of the sort in what I'm growing. And with 4-month-old, almost 5-month-old now baby, that's important to me, to give him the best possible start that I can. And to me, that means looking at a holistic approach, right? It's about the education, activities, exposures, from food into other elements and just like that. That's what I'm giving him. That's what's, to me, is going to shape. That's how I can give him the best possible start. I think that is my primary goal as his father. He is now the priority. As I said, that's one of the reasons why I finally got off my derriere. Let's go this way, Misa. We'll do a shorter one because there's too much snow for 4 days. Yeah. Sorry, heading into the wind. I don't know if any of this is even can be heard at all. But Daisy found her little track there, so we're good. Oh, this rain, this freezing rain is killing me. Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. I know what I am feeding my kids. So that's another big advantage, big reason for gardening. It's kept me busy. It's allowing me to try and discover produce that I never had even heard of, because it's the type of thing that is not really, let's say, it's not easily shipped, so it doesn't make it to the grocery store, right? Or things like that. The native plants, right? Stuff that you probably have never heard of, like hascaps, that are higher in antioxidants and healthier in vitamin C than blueberries and all those other super berries. They taste amazing, kind of halfway between blueberries and raspberries. They're local, and that's just one example, right? All the other types of gooseberries and currants and sea buckthorn and all those other great things. Pawpaws. I am very much looking forward to trying pawpaws. I've never actually tasted them, and I've got 3 trees coming next spring. It's gonna be amazing. So anyway, yeah, so you get to discover a whole bunch of other things that you otherwise wouldn't. It's healthier, you save money. Why wouldn't you garden? Especially in today's economy with inflation and all that. And it's also a great activity that I'm looking forward to doing with Felix when he gets a little bit older. He'll be able to help out. I think it's an important life skill to have, to at least know, even if that's not his thing. Like, it wasn't my thing when my parents had a small garden and I was young. I would love to pick carrots and dip them in the pool for 2 seconds and eat them fresh like that. Don't get me wrong, but having a garden never really interested me until a few years ago, and I realized everything that's going on. Another thing I didn't mention about gardening is, for those of you who are scared about what's going on in the world and worried about inflation or war or all those other very valid, I think, concerns in today's world. Oh, sorry, girls. I thought this was cleared. You can follow me, Daisy. Follow my footsteps. Being able to grow your own food, that's a very valuable skill, I would think, in any scenario where, let's say, social order has degraded. So for all you preppers out there, whether it's prepping for a zombie apocalypse because you watched a bit too much Walking Dead, or any most other types of, I'll say most, because not any, right? If there's nuclear fallout outside, you can't really grow plants, but I think you get my point. For several scenarios, being able to grow your own food as a sustainable resource that you can use or trade is something that would be very valuable, and not everyone has that knowledge. And even if you have the knowledge, if you're not already set up for it and you need it to happen, it's not instant, to make food grow. So yeah, it's just another tool to put on your tool belt, and it's just another thing to make yourself a little bit more versatile and understanding how plants grow, how nature works. That all fits in my mind with my kind of idea of, again, us needing more generalists, less generals. And it's not because you work as an aerospace engineer that you can't benefit from some knowledge. From some of Mother Nature's wisdom, and I think actually several engineers, or any engineer, would intuitively understand that. From copying beehives to birds, we owe a lot to nature in our own designs. So on that note, have a good one. Thanks for listening. And I hope you can provide me some comments or some feedback on my points. Have a good one.